Hey Yogi, we're gonna take a little adventure through a crow vinyasa flow. So if you're working on building your crow pose or you want to go back to the fundamentals, this is a really good class for that. You might have one or two blocks with you. We may or may not use them, but just have them handy. And let's begin on our backs. We'll take a moment to get settled in a supine position, so laying down. And take a second to figure out what you want to do with your legs. So if you have any sensitivity in your lower back, generally, you might bend your knees and put your feet flat on the floor. If you want to get into your hips a little bit, you could let your knees splay open. You could also start with the end. Start in Shavasana with the legs extended. Just take any position that feels most appropriate. Close your eyes for a moment and take a second to arrive for your practice. Give yourself a big inhale through the nose and a full exhale through the nose. One more big breath in and full breath out. And hug your knees in towards your chest. Give them a little squeeze. You can take a second to rock from side to side on your low back if that feels good, just massaging out the base of your spine. And then keep your right knee at your chest. Extend your left leg forward and kind of flex into that left foot. Spread your toes. And you're going to grab a hold of your right shin and draw it in towards your chest. Looking to activate maybe a little hip flexor stretch. And certainly an inner thigh and a hip stretch as you draw the legs away from each other. And then circle your right ankle around a few times. And then circle it around the other way. Good. And then keep your hand on your shin. Lift your shoulders up off the mat. Bring your nose towards your knee. So we're looking to get as deep compression as possible this early in the practice by getting as much of your chest connected to your thigh. Yeah, take one more full breath. Good, and then release your chest back down to the ground, or your back, I should say, and then take your right knee and cross it over your body to the left for an easy spinal twist. Open your right arm to the right, gaze to the right, give it a full breath in right here. And return to center. You're going to switch out your legs. Right leg extends forward, left knee at your chest. Grab a hold of your shin. Draw the left thigh closer to your face and to your chest. And then dig forward through your right heel. Spread your toes on that right foot. Go ahead, find your breath and begin to rotate your left foot around in or around the ankle axis, I should say. And then move that left foot around the other way. Good. And then holding on to that shin, curl your shoulders off the mat. Bring your nose towards your knee. Hug your belly button to your spine. Get as much of your chest up against that thigh as you can. Oh, hey, hip flexion. And then you'll release that back down. Grab a hold of your knee with your right hand. Take a breath in. Your breath out crosses the midline and takes you over to the other side. Left arm opens to the left. Turn your gaze left if you can. Full breath in. Good. And then bring yourself back through center. Hug both of your knees into your chest. Bring it into a happy baby. Catch the outer edges of your feet and draw your knees down towards your armpits. If catching the feet is not happening right this minute, catch your ankles. You could also hold your shins. You could grab onto your thighs and pull those down. Find whatever works for you, but we're Really working into hip opening, hip flexion, getting the thigh as close to the chest as possible. That's going to show up a lot in our crow pose. Good. You might rock this shape from side to side. Breathe deeply into whatever you feel. If this is enough, you can stay here. If you want a little more, you could explore straightening a leg off to the side. Maybe the other leg. Maybe they don't go quite straight, but you just start to get a little opening through the inner. Good. And then release your feet. Bring your knees back together. Now bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Flex your palms like you're trying to press the ceiling away. Glue your belly button to your spine. So notice if there's any space between your back and the floor, get rid of that space. So curl your tailbone forward and really pin your lower back to the ground. Keep that action. Lift your shoulders off the mat like you're trying to push the ceiling up off of the four walls of the room that you're in, if you're in a room. And then keep your shoulders lifted. Tap your toes to the floor. Breathe in. Watch that spine. Keep it down. Exhale, breathing out. Bring your knees towards the backs of your arms. Good. We're going to go for 5 like this. Inhale, tip it down. Exhale, bring it up. Good. Inhale, tip it down. Exhale, knees up. Shoulders are up the whole time for 3. And lift. Good. 2. And knees to arms. Last one. And knees to arms. Hold it here. Now pulse your whole shoulder situation. Up an inch. Up an inch. Up an inch. Like you're trying to lift the ceiling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 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 hold. Take an inhale. And then exhale, release your shoulders back down. Hug that in. Give it a little rest. Good. And then plant your hands on either sides of your hips. You're going to use a little bit of momentum here, but more strength than momentum. Take a breath in. Tap your toes to the floor in front of you. As you breathe out, push into the entire back of your arms and lift your butt to the sky. Bring your knees towards your face. Good. Lower yourself back down slowly, slowly, slowly. Hands push down. Core engages to roll it down. Tap your toes to the floor in front of you. Breathe in. Exhale, roll the whole thing back up. Take an inhale here. Slowly release down on the exhale. Control, 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 control. Tap your toes. Inhale. Exhale, roll it up. Inhale here. Exhale, slow roll down. Inhale, tap toes. Exhale, roll it up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll it down. Last time, breathe in. Exhale, roll. Inhale here. And exhale, roll it back down. Nice work. All right. Core is on. Hip flexion is on. Start to rock forward and back along the length of your spine. And eventually make your way onto all fours in tabletop position. If you need a sip of water or anything, grab that. We'll meet with hands under shoulders, knees under hips. So when you find yourself onto all fours, we got to give the wrists a little bit of love, right? So first things first, spread your fingers wide and really grip the mat with your fingertips. So engage your hasta bandha. Lift up through the palm of your hand. And then you're going to take one of your hands and flip it over onto its back. So fingers are open wide, you're on the back of the hand, and you're doing your best to breathe, to put only as much weight on that hand as you can handle. Good. Let's take 2 cat-cows here with this. Lift your chest and your tailbone, breathe in. Press the ground away, breathe it out. One more time, inhale here. And exhale out. Good, return to a neutral spine. Take that hand that you flipped over, shake it off. And then place it on the floor facing the regular way. Flip the opposite hand over. Good. Fingers are spread wide on both hands. Only as much weight as you can handle on that wrist. 2 cat-cows. Lift chest. Inhale. Press the ground away. Dome your upper back. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Lift chest. And exhale. Dome the upper back. Good. Return to your neutral spine. Take that hand off the floor. Shake it off. Sit back on your heels and give yourself a couple of wrist circles. So in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Good. And then start to vigorously flick your fingers, right? So it's not a wrist flick, it's a finger flick, 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 flick. Go a few good solid times. Take 3 full breaths. Really heating up the finger flexors and extensors, heating up the forearms. Getting right in there. Last full breath. Good. And then let that go. Hands should feel alive and awake and ready to bear some degree of weight. So come back to all fours, vigorously grip the mat with your fingers. We're going to work on some upper body technique here that is going to make a difference in your crow pose. As you breathe in, so we just did cat-cow, which is arching your spine. Try not to arch your spine, but see if you can find the same concept of drawing your shoulder blades together and allowing your chest to come down. You'll feel almost a little arching of your back, but keep the abs in. Good. So this should feel kind of weird. Chest falling down, shoulders not engaged, shoulder blades retract. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, do the exact opposite. Push the floor away, protract your shoulder blades away from each other, dome your upper back. You're not changing your gaze, you're not changing your tailbone, just focusing on that upper back. Let's do that 3 times. Inhale, shoulders retract. Exhale, push the floor away, dome the upper back. This is your crow pose. 2 more. Inhale, bend. Exhale, press. 1 more. Inhale, bend. Exhale, press. Curl your toes under. Child's pose. Sit your hips back and send your arms forward, nice and long. Good. And press your heels back. So looking to get a little bit of a stretch at the soles of your feet. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. Plant your hands. Downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Yeah, so first down dog of the class. Maybe it's the first down dog of your day. Maybe it's the first down dog of your week. So give yourself a moment to pedal out your feet, to shift your hips any direction, to find your legs, to find your stillness, to find the grip through your hands. Good. Draw your low belly in, point your tailbone straight up and back. Press the floor away vigorously. Grip the mat with your fingers. Glide yourself forward into a plank position. Breathe in. Lower all the way to your belly, breathing out. Untuck your toes, point them to the back of the space. Hug your elbows in as you lift your chest, baby cobra. Exhale, release the forehead down. 1 more time. Toes point, feet reach, heart reaches forward and up. Inhale. Downward facing dog is your exhale. Push onto all fours and send those hips up and back. Good. Now look forward in your down dog. Stay on your tippy toes. You're going to bend your knees a lot. And keep your butt up and back. And then I want you to bend and straighten your legs, not all the way, but just bounce this, right? So again, we've got hip flexion here. We're flexing at the hips, bringing the chest closer to the thigh. Take an inhale in this little bouncing, pouncing shape. Inhale. Shift forward, bring your knee to your nose. Right knee to the nose. Chest and knee together. Good. Sit it back into that little crouch. Inhale. Second side, left knee to your nose, shoulders come over your wrists, push the ground away. Good. Inhale it back, a little crouch. Exhale, knee to the chest, round your back, push the floor away. Again, inhale it back, a little crouch. Exhale, left knee to the chest. Ooh, Shanae. One more. Inhale back. Knee to chest. Inhale back. Left knee to chest. Inhale back to your pounce. Exhale, plank pose. Shift it forward. Two more like that. Inhale, bend those knees. Shift your hips back. Exhale, plank pose. One more time. Inhale, hips back. Exhale, plank. Lower chaturanga halfway. Upward facing dog. Breathing in. Spread your collarbones wide apart. Lift your thighs. Draw your belly in. Downward facing dog. Hips up and back. Oh, yeah. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Walk your feet to the top of your mat to meet your hands. Feet hips distance apart, not too narrow. Fold forward, shake out your head, shake out your jaw, let your spine release. Pull your belly into your spine. Good, come halfway up to a flat back, lengthen. Exhale, fold back in. One more time, inhale, lengthen. Pause here, turn your toes out and your heels in, and then exhale into Malasana Yogi squat. Okay, so your squat might be all the way down. Your squat might have heels up, right? If you have tight Achilles tendons and tight hips, you might not be able to get your heels down yet. Your squat might be more like over here. Yeah, whatever your squat is in this moment is perfect. Press your palms together. Press your elbows out against your knees and hug your knees back in against your elbows as best you can. Good. Grounding through your toes. If you are also on your heels, grounding through your heels. Come all the way up to standing. Circle your arms out and up. Reach up. Inhale. Back to your squat. Exhale. Sit it low. Two more. Inhale. Up. Arms up. Exhale. Sit it low. Last time. Inhale. Reach. Exhale. Back to your squat. Come halfway up to a flat back. Fingers down. Turn your toes forward, breathing in. Forward fold, breathing out. Step into plank pose, one leg at a time. Inhale. Halfway down, chaturanga. Maybe lower your knees. Upward facing dog, breathing in. Downward facing dog, breathing out. 3 breaths in dog. Let go of your neck. Front ribs in, low belly in. Inner thighs spinning in and back. One more deep breath. Gaze forward. Look to the top of your mat. Breathe in. Come to tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees, step or hop. Yogi squat. Go wide. Yeah, hands to the heart. Inhale to rise all the way up. Exhale to squat all the way down. One more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squat. Come halfway up to your flat back. Toes forward, breathing in. Plant your hands, bend your knees. You can step, or maybe hop to your low push-up. Upward facing dog, breathing in. Downward facing dog, breathing out. Send your right leg up. Bend your knee, open up that hip. Take a moment to circle your ankle around. Good. Straighten out your right leg. Take an inhale. Knee to the nose as you exhale. 2 more like that. Work that hip flexion. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Step your foot between your hands. If it doesn't reach, grab your ankle and move your ankle into position. Lower your left knee down, untuck your back toes, rise up for your low lunge. Good. Arms high, inner thighs hug together. Front heel digs down, low belly lifts. 2 deep breaths here. Good. Take an inhale. Exhale, release your hands to the ground. Pause for a moment. You've got your right thigh bone forward. I want you to lean your torso on your right thigh and hug that thigh. Reach your right arm underneath. Now you're going to reach your left arm underneath and you're going to hug your thigh with your other arm. I kind of bring my hands around my triceps. Now tuck your back toes under. See if you can lift that back thigh. Yeah, so you've got a nice strong lunge. Now don't let go of your arms, but pretend like you're trying to stand up. So lift your chest. Your arms have now locked you into this position. Push down through your front heel. Feel the compression of your chest against that front thigh. 2 more breaths. Last deep breath. Good. Release your hands towards the floor. Crescent lunge. Come all the way up. Good. Little bend in that back knee. Lift your frontal hip points. Get really tall. Warrior 2. Pivot that left heel down. Open up your arms. Front toes point straight forward. Right hip hugs in and underneath you. Take your gaze over your front fingers. 3 breaths. Flip your front palm, tip it back, reverse warrior, inhale. Circle your hands to the mat, downward facing dog, right foot steps back. Oi, look forward, bend your knees a lot, come back into that crouch, inhale here. Chaturanga is your exhale, so shoot it forward and bend your elbows and pause. Now you're gonna push back up to that little crouch, inhale. Exhale, pounce forward, chaturanga, bend those elbows. One more time, inhale, shift it back, bend your knees. Exhale, pounce, upward facing, downward facing. Left leg up, breathing in. Bend your knee, open up that hip, circle your ankle around. Yeah. And then straighten out your leg, square off your hip, inhale. Knee to the nose, exhale. Send the leg up and back, breathe in. Knee to the nose. Last time, send it high. Knee to the nose. Step your foot between your hands. Right knee lowers, uncurl your toes. Anjaneyasana, low lunge, send those arms high. Good, hug your front ribs in and down, lift that low belly. Get really long. Good, and then release your hands to the ground. Frame your front foot. Get your chest to rest on your thigh. Then you're going to wrap your left arm under. See if you can lift your right hand and wrap that arm under and just catch a hold of your triceps. Yeah, if this is enough for balance, you stay here. If you can, tuck your back toes under and then lift that back leg. Yeah. Good, and now try to stand up. You've got your arms locking you into position, but I want you to not be like slumping down. Try to lift your chest and reach forward like you're an arrow shooting out of a bow and arrow and you want to shoot forward. Yeah, and notice the space you're trying to create between your thigh and your chest, but keep them together. Keep them compressed and also lift up. Last deep breath. Good, fingertips towards the floor. Squeeze your legs, rise up, crescent lunge. Yeah, a little bend in that back knee, upright the front of your pelvis. Zip up your core, zip up your inner thigh, squeeze your back butt cheek. Warrior 2, pivot your right heel down, bend into your front knee, gaze over your front fingers. 3 deep breaths. Good. Flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Inhale. Exhale, circle your hands to the mat. Downward facing dog. Left foot meets right foot. Little crouch. Bend your knees. Look forward. Inhale. Exhale, pounce. Chaturanga. 2 more. Inhale back. Exhale, pounce. 1 more. Inhale back. Exhale, pounce. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. We're going to put that flow together and add on a little more. Lift your right leg. Inhale. Knee to the nose. Exhale. Send the leg back. Step it through between your hands. Lower your back knee down. Rise to your lunge. Inhale. Hug your front thigh. Exhale. Lift your back knee. Inhale. Stay for the exhale. Release your hug. Crescent lunge. Breathing in. Warrior 2. Breathing out. Reverse warrior. Inhale. Side angle pose. Exhale. You can start with your front or with your forearm on your front thigh. If you feel like you have more space, see if you can bring it down a little bit. So again, we're talking about the compression of the chest to the front thigh. Feel free to get in there and then lean back. Just 3 breaths. Good. Reverse warrior, breathing in. Hands to the mat, breathing out. Downward dog with that crouch. Inhale, step it back, bend your knees. Exhale, pounce, chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left leg high, inhale. Knee to the nose, exhale. Send it up and back. Step it through. Lower your back knee. Low lunge, arms to the sky. Inhale. Hug your front thigh, exhale. Tuck your back toes under. Lift the back knee, breathing in. Stay for the breath out. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Flip your front palm, reverse warrior. Parshva Konasana, side angle pose. Forearm can start on the thigh, right arm up. If you feel like you have more space, see if you can get the fingertips down. Maybe on a block, right? But get that compression of the left ribs on the left thigh. Lean back. Press firmly through your left heel. Squeeze the left hip and underneath you. Good. Stay strong through both legs. Reverse warrior to come out. Circle your hands to the ground. Downward dog with the little pounce. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, pounce, chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. Gaze forward. Come to your tippy toes. Inhale. Bend your knees. Step or hop into yogi squat, malasana. Good. Elbows to the inner knees. Push those knees out. Hug your knees back in against your elbows. Squeeze your pelvic floor. Find Mula Bandha, that basket. Lift from the pelvic floor. Good. Now begin to push your inner thighs into your arms. Really squeeze. Right? Squeeze like you're trying to vice grip your arms together. And as your inner thighs are squeezing, push your elbows out. Like really play tug of war with yourself. We're turning on the inner thighs, turning on Mula Bandha. That's really going to help your knees stay in position for crow pose. So squeeze, 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 squeeze. And as those knees squeeze, those arms go, no, 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 no. And they push out. You should start to feel yourself shake here pretty soon. And the knees are going to go, yes, 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 I'm squeezing. And the arms go, no, 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 I'm pushing out. Good. Everything should be shaking. Should be finding resistance on the squeeze and on the push. Beautiful. And then forward fold. Let that go. Shake out your hips from side to side. Good, and then bring your hands behind your back to interlace. Pull your knuckles down toward the floor behind you. Bend your knees, come into a wide chair pose. Yeah, so I want your toes to be able to lift off the ground. Your weight is mostly in your heels. Peel your chest up. Take a breath in. Keep your knees bent. Exhale, fold forward, compress chest to thighs. Yeah, 2 more. Inhale, knees stay bent. Exhale, fold your upper body forward. 1 more. Inhale, knees stay bent. Exhale, fold the upper body forward. Maybe this time straighten your legs. See how long you can keep your chest stuck to your thighs. Good, and then release your hands to the floor. Walk it out to a flat back. Come halfway up. And then fold yourself back in. And plant your hands shoulder distance apart, so narrower than you want, right? Not mat's distance apart, shoulder distance apart. And then walk your feet back a little bit. We're going to start getting right into our crow. So bring your big toes together, open your knees, and get your knees to the backs of your arms. So the exact placement, you're going to have to figure it out for yourself. I like to start as high into the armpits as I can because inevitably my knees slide down a little bit. If you start right at the edge of the elbow, you'll slide down a lot faster. So as high as you can, but we all have a different degree of hip flexion. So the degree of height will depend on your body, right? Now, remember all of your principles. You got to stack your shit first. Grip the mat with your fingertips. Check out your elbow. Is your elbow in front of your wrist? If it isn't, begin to shift forward until the elbow is over the wrist. Once you're there, lean forward, look forward, think about that oh shit point, and maybe you lift a foot. Maybe you switch, put that foot down and lift the other foot. What would it take to lean forward another ½ inch to really get that lift off? Pull your belly in. All that work of the hip flexion, pulling the thigh to the chest. Work it here. Good, and then come out back into yogi squat. Give your wrists a little break. Now, if it happened, great. If it didn't happen, also great. Every opportunity is a step closer, right? So if your knees were sliding out your arms, remember the exercise we just did. You're going to do it again right now. Hug your inner thighs in against your arms. Push your inner thighs out, right? So this is the action that you're going to find. Even with the knees on the backs of your arms, you're still adducting your inner thighs together. Let's try it again. Hands on the floor. Lift your butt. Get your knees nice and high. Before you go anywhere, look forward. Shift forward. Get your elbows into position. Grip the mat. And then without lifting your feet, start to squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Yeah, notice the engagement of the inner thigh. The feet lift almost by themselves when you start to get that inner thigh engaged. Yeah, and with the inner thighs engaged, the knees won't slide out. They might slide in, but they won't slide out. Good. If you're working on jump backs, keep your chest forward. Step or jump it back. If you stepped it back, we're going to meet in downward facing dog. Good work. Take a deep breath in. And a full breath out. Now you can repeat that section or rewind it as many times as you want until you're satisfied with your crow. And then when you're ready to move on, we'll take the right leg up. Step it to the outside of your right hand. Lower your back knee down for lizard lunge. Yeah, you can kind of shimmy your hips from side to side a little bit. Yeah, and depending on your body, this might be more than enough. You might stay right here. Some of us have the flexibility to lower down onto the forearms. And for many, many years, I was sort of stuck. I had one forearm down, but the inside forearm closest to the foot, it would not come down. If that's you, you can split the difference and put a block there. Eventually, they will both come down. And breathe deeply. This might be enough of a stretch for you here. If you want a little bit more, bend your back knee, bring your heel to your butt. You might need to come up onto your palms for this one, and then reach back for the opposite foot and pull that heel towards your butt. Ooh. We did a lot of hip flexor compression. This is all about hip flexor opening. Good. Unwind this twist, release your foot, hands under shoulders. You're going to take a big step back into downward facing dog. And then step the left foot outside of the left hand. Find your lizard lunge. You can drop your back knee down, uncurl those back toes, and then choose your adventure. You might stay here. You might bring one elbow down, the other on a block, maybe both on a block, and then lower eventually the other forearm down. Deep conscious breaths. This is enough juice. You stay where you are. A little more juice. You reach back for that right foot with your left hand. Good. If you have that back foot, let it go. We're going to meet in downward facing dog, giant step back. Final vinyasa to clear all that out. Plank pose breathes you in. Chaturanga breathes you out. Upward facing dog breathes in. Child's pose breathes out. Good work. And make your way onto your back. We'll take a moment to stretch out the hips. Take your right ankle, cross it over your left knee for your figure four shape. Thread the eye of the needle. So you're going to take that right arm, thread it in between your legs, and then interlace your hands either behind your left thigh. If you have the flexibility, hands will interlace in front of your left shin. Try to drop your head down, flex your right foot. Maybe rock this shape from side to side a little bit. Maybe not. Check in with your mind for a moment. When we start to slow down and we have less details to think about, this is when your mind gets bored and distracted and starts to go back to that monkey brain of incessant thoughts. And can you stay with your practice for a moment? Just really feel it. Feel your breath, feel the sensation in your body. Try to lock into what is happening in this moment right now. Not in the past, not in the future, not in your head, but right here. Good. And then release your leg. Send that left leg forward. Hug your right knee to your chest. Give it an inhale. You're crossing it over to the left. On your exhale, right arm opens to the right. Take a full breath in. And then unwind this side. Reset the legs for the second side. Left ankle crosses over right knee. Thread the eye of the needle, left arm in between your legs. Hands can interlace behind your right thigh, maybe further up your shin if you've got the space. Do your best to have the back of your head on the floor. If you're very tight in the hips and there's no way to get your head down, you're like, how the hell? Even down here with the hands on the thigh, then maybe you're here, right? More important to have the head down. You can also do this next to a wall. The wall is right in front of you, and you can put your foot on the wall. If you can't reach with your hands, you use the wall to slowly bring it in. It's always a way. Flex your left foot, maybe wiggle it from side to side, and take 3 really slow, really conscious breaths. And then release your hands. Extend your right leg forward. Left knee hugs to your chest. Full breath in. And then cross that knee over to the other side on your breath out. Give it a big inhale. And then hug your knees back in. Unwind your spine. Take any final wiggle that your body might need before your final resting pose. And when you're ready, make your way into Shavasana. Let your feet flop open. Let your shoulder blades draw together slightly, palms turned up. And give yourself a minute's rest. Take a full breath in through your nose. And sigh it out. Let your next inhale be full and deep. Stretch your arms overhead if that feels good. Get long. And take your time. Slowly make your way back to a comfortable seat. You can spin onto your side in the fetal position for a moment if that feels good. And sit up tall. Keep your eyes closed. So not a very long practice today, but just check in with how you feel. Even with just a few minutes of movement, notice what you shifted. And notice any feelings you're harboring for crow pose. Maybe you had success and you loved it. Maybe no matter what you did, it didn't happen. Whether you are pleased or displeased, can you shake it off? Can you let this moment have been this moment? And recognize that right now, this one is a new moment. And every single moment that we have is a moment to reinvent ourselves, to shift, to change what's not working. And instead of dragging the past into the present, we bring the future into the present. The future is you flying into any pose that you want. It already exists. You're just learning how to be it. But it's already here. Bring your hands together at your heart. Bow chin to hands, a gesture of reverence and gratitude to yourself. Give yourself a full breath in and a full breath out. Thank you for your time, your energy, your effort. Namaste.